Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves an album by an act named VxT titled Reminiscent. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on Spotify. The album on Spotify, should I say. We have 11 songs from Stop to First Love. So basically, as I understand it, this album is about an individual who is dealing with heartbreak, and it's their journey through that. And then at the end, they realize that music is their first love. I think that's what the crux of the album is about. So we're going to listen to Stop to through the First Love from start to finish. Here we think. Let's go. Go back a little bit, yeah. There we go. Oh, it's nice and peppy, isn't it? With some nice guitarists with the vocals there. Vocals nice and fresh sounding. I know they're filtered and stuff like that, but you can hear there's like a nice air to it with the EQ or the reverb chains or whatever.
Don't start again. It feels that I can't comprehend. Drop top, just say my name. Tell me how you wanna end this time. I can't pretend. No, I cannot lie again. 'Cause I'm done with you for me.
Nice, I'm liking that the vocal flow there with the melodies and the way he phrases himself. It's nice and fresh. There's double tracked vocals there, so it's nice and present within the mix. Really bright, bubbly harmony to contrast with the "I'm done with you, stop" kind of vibe with it. I like that. I like that sort of juxtaposition there.
I'm done with you, I'm done with playing games. I don't wanna say it, but I think that I'm insane. All the fights we have, yeah, we back at it again. For everything that I've done, everything's that left now. With you, I cannot butcher my abilities. This time I won't check on opportunities. Cook it like I cook up on the beats, yup. Never confront it, but it is what it is, yeah.
We got this contemporary hip-hop trap element with the da-da-da-da-da, and these repeaters on the delays and stuff. You know, I like it. I've really gotten to know this kind of hip-hop and rap over the last couple of years I've been doing these reviews. It's so prevalent now. It's so popular, and it's, you know, like, to be fair, hip-hop has been, you know, quite popular over the last 20, 30 years, last few decades. So you really can't afford to screw it up or leave a bad first impression. And so far, this is pretty slick.
But baby, that's when you go ahead and call back. I hear you say all this and all that. I'm so terrified, petrified about that. You telling me just how useless I am. So I gotta thank you, but
yeah.
I cannot take it any longer. I said thank you for making me stronger. But that's what I'm about to say. I say, oh baby, don't start again.
Don't start again. We don't want to start those fights again. It's over. We're done. It's the end of the relationship. I get it. I understand it. Yeah, we are not messing around. There's no filler. Straight into the meat of it, you know? Nice use of the filtering in the chorus to have a kind of anti-chorus, I suppose. It's unusual to not have the drums really nice and strong in your face during a hook. You usually get the bass pumping and stuff, but that's not what VxT has gone for in this, and I think that's a smart move. It goes against expectations and becomes inherently interesting because of that.
Cause I really believed in love and I thought this was just a phase, so I played along. Didn't I realize what I lost, I didn't see. Maybe I was under a spell of what is meant to be. But we could finish properly. No, the signs were right there for me. But maybe I was too blind to see.
Well, that little bit of a turn television there, there's a kind of a fill, a transitory device between the verse and the bridge. Mad respect to VxT for not just having the same intent and intensity between the choruses and verses as well. Occasionally when I do listen to music, like hip-hop and rap and stuff like that nowadays, people just have that one idea and they chuck it in and they don't bother doing any filtering or try to change up the chorus and make them distinctive. They just copy and paste, and it's kind of sad, you know? I know the main musical theme remains the same throughout, with the guitars, and the bass line as well. We can actually turn the camera off. Cool. He's got great clean vocals as well as melodic rapping that he does during the verses. He's a triple threat, my dude. It's fantastic. Solid music, solid clean, and solid rapping. we're doing that stereo panning there, but automation there. Cool, cool, cool. And some whistles is some additional layering on there. Again, there's not too much to make it too overwhelming, or there's nothing superfluous in there. The elements are all well considered, and I could clearly understand what the song was about as well. So well done to VxT. Fantastic first impression with Stop. Brown Boy flow. Ah, cool. We've got these Indian instruments. Like a sitar and stuff like that. It's got those kind of shimmery vibes. I'm fascinated by the sound of the textures of the instruments. Actually, they sound beautiful in their own way, you know? That field working is fantastic.
All the way to the land of the free and the home of the brave. I don't know if I belong here. I don't even know what I'm saying. Your opinions really don't bother me. I'm just chilling in my cave. So do as I say. Yeah, I'm gonna be up and away. Yeah, sometimes it's...
Dude, I love the inclusion of the modern sort of like Western trap elements with this the Indian sort of like sitars and other sort of instruments. I think it's a great combination. I don't hear it a lot. Typically, you just get an 808, a synth, or if you're lucky, maybe an organ or something fun, and vocals and drums, and that's it. But to have this kind of fusion, this there's this sense of difference and uniqueness is splendid. So much space in the mix as well, with the pace.
Cause I made it here, no recipe. Casually causing catastrophe. Suddenly lose control, all of my faculties. Punctuate times like an apostrophe. No Grammy, no trophy. I don't need a clout. Just need love and doubt. If you're ever in doubt, call me and I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I don't draw the line in the step out.
Hell yeah, man.
Call me Tech 9.
Sick as hell, dude.
Just like lights and turn signs and Grand Theft Auto, that's the game is without me. It's like I'm representing for the West Side now, bringing out the East Side sound. That's where my roots were found, from the valleys of the old brown town. So let me take you on a journey to the exotic land. Don't back down, I'm stacked out, top down. TSA, no pat downs. Brown boy live up in the house.
Shit, that was smooth. That was smooth. There's a lot more assertive in this. There's a lot more like the kind of hip hop and rap that I It's got a scene. How do I say this? There's a bravado to it. We'll go back. I want to listen to that verse again.
Grand Theft Auto, that's the game is without me. It's like I'm representing for the West Side now, bringing out the East Side sound. That's where my roots were found, from the valleys of the old brown town. So let me take you on a journey to the exotic.
Like, listen to him go, man. It's splendid. Has he released other material? So he's released a few different releases, but this is like, this is most recent stuff, and I adore it. I think it's fantastic.
I'm stacked out, top down. TSA, no pat downs. Brown boy live up in the house.
Sick, man. A bit of phaser flanging going on here. Again, there's a nice shift and unexpected transition to this kind of instrumental. It's unusual, and I like the manipulation of those sound waves like that.
There's that brown boy flow. There's that brown boy flow. Way up in the sky, high. No, I'm stoned.
The 808 is super active. It's constantly in your face and smashing around the place, but it's also really well balanced because of the compression and stuff applied to it.
I know. There's that brown boy flow. Follow me in the trance. Let's see how it go. For the lack of privacy, probably make it properly, not your property. And this philosophy of poverty, wondering about the prophecy in private. Who gonna run this legacy after me? I'm not a counterfeit, and I made out of it. The world where it was just a rat race against the clock, I see I was the oddity. But maybe I should just go back and focus.
It's so clear. I love the precision to the way the VxT raps. It's coming through so clearly in the mix. The EQing and the production on vocals is sensational, but there also requires an amount of finesse that is not as common as you'd like. Just that the pronunciation there, the way it's phrased, the rhythmic devices used within each of these verses and lines is just, it's sensational.
Again, but I don't have to trust all that. Money that I made me insane, cause I never can get enough of it. Always in the search for more, but I don't gotta pay no homage, cause no one ever done this before. I am on top.
I ain't gonna pay no homage because nobody's done this before. Damn, that's the bravado, the swagger that I was talking about. This is different to Stop. We've got a range of different deliveries here that I'm enjoying.
Throwing out love to the ones here before. Falling from grace, but now down on the low. Love me or hate me, I still be me, that is for sure. Surely I'm honored, honestly trying to brewing the thoughts inside of my head. Heading nowhere, I don't know what to do.
So we're talking about where we came from, the journey we've had, sort of our position, that we're making that money, not knowing what to do with it. It's cool to have that different angle to the relationship kind of prose that we talked about with Stop and trying to get away from the needless nonsense and drama and stuff like that a lot of relationships can bring. We got Hey Dad, number 3. Piano. Very different to Stop and Brown Boy Flow. Yeah, so this is a very personal journey for VxT. So it's nice to have these different angles. It makes, Reminiscent. It makes for a fantastic album just to have these kind of different individual pieces create a greater whole.
Let me come forward and say, hey Dad, how we doing? It's been a while since I asked. You just find I'm assuming, but these days I'm so lost and I'm so sad. Then I'm mad, why you are the way you are, Dad. Cause when I was 4, I wanted a bite. For you it wasn't a choice. Cause Mom told me you had a tear in your eye. The day that you talked about having me. Why wasn't I a priority? Why do I question authority? I know what you wanted me to be, but I just wanted you to look and see that I'm...
Yeah, no, it's I know there's more to it than not getting along with your dad and stuff like that. I know that we're going to hear more of this, but I can kind of relate to some of the stuff already. I think there'll be a lot of people that can relate to songs like Hey Dad, Stop and Brown Boy Flow. I think there'll be people that will relate to that, and because of the way this music is performed, because of the way that the Kira's been taken to match the emotional content of the lyrics and the vocal delivery with the music and the harmonies present and everything like that. The connection will be a lot easier because of that.
All on my mind, I put it all on the line. Wanted to tell you I did everything that I did just to make you proud. Wanted to hear you say son did well. I just want to hear that sound. So in grade 10, studied on my day and night. Scored about 94 percentile. I was hoping you could see my name up on the board, but then you said you didn't have time. You said,
oh, that's brutal. Yeah. It's brutal talking about how you got into the 94th percentile, but it just wasn't good enough. The dad didn't pay attention, and it's just sad, man. The piano matches are really, really well. There's minor arpeggios going on here, and we loop back, but we're never going to a major key, you know?
We're gonna be son, enjoy it while it lasts. So why'd you have to be this way? I still don't understand. When you left me, I was all alone, but now I'm just fine on my own. Why'd you have to be this way all alone? I don't know. Was I this awful, you disown? What was with me that was so wrong? Why'd you have to be this way all alone? I don't know. So when I was 25, I had to make a choice. Screaming, shouting, I shouldn't have raised my voice. I know what I did wasn't right. I did it all out of spite. But after so many years of hatred, I was justified. You threw my mic up in the attic, cause I wasn't studying biotic. I wasn't meant to be a doctor though, but rap is where I put my heart and soul. I know that you've been through a lot. Hip-hop is where I found my spot. That's when we started and grew apart. I don't really see a way to stop.
Right, I get it. I kind of get where we're going with it.
Stop and swear for a while, but memories
kind of get it.
I really wanted you to be happy, no, I ain't gonna lie. But I'm done being patient and honest with you. Reiterate the words you said while I am here to achieve my goals. When you said don't ever come back, begging for more cause it's ride or die. When I was 12, we didn't talk for over a month. Now it's been like 3 years, just give or take some. I wonder if you think I'm doing, or is it still too much to ask? Out of the past, but then you broke me up, blaming the stars. And you couldn't feel breaking my heart. And you were supposedly looking out for me while I was crying in my bed alone, grieving my loss. When you left me, I was all alone.
So, like, is the Stop about the relationship with his father? Is that it? Like, is it about... Because, like, I got part of it. I typically do these songs on a first track basis. It might have been about a relationship with another person that he loved, but it could also have been about you know, his dad, and you know, like trying to come to terms with what's occurred and trying to set boundaries in place, because otherwise it's just endless fighting and stuff like that. Just because the way we panned the stop around the headphones, it gave me a hint that they had something to do with it as well.
Why'd you have to be this way all alone? I don't know.
Again, those reverb tails, the delays, they fill the space left without the vocals as a cooler response really well.
Why'd you have to be this way all alone? I don't know. I don't know.
The I don't know. That staccato, that accent on it, the staccato. It's like it gives a sense of frustration. It wouldn't have sounded the same if it had been as soft as the rest of it. It's a well considered deliberate act on VxT's part. And those little bits of attention to detail show someone who really knows what the hell they're doing with their music production and their hip hop career, because it's those little bit of attitude that'll add to the overall sort of like tapestry of your music. You know, you need to make sure that any opportunity you can add something that would go a little bit more of the X factor is what you go for there. Yeah, I mean, we had the one main piano thing with the piano, that the, you know, the drums and everything like that. We had a bass in there as well, I think. It's a lot more subtle though. A lot of that could have been the piano as well. With the I don't know shows that he's still not entirely sure about some things related to the situation with his dad. You know, having to study biotics instead of a hip hop career, man. It's like, you know, you gotta pick a choice between, you know, having a life where you maybe earn a lot of money, having a life where you feel like happy and satisfied. Because it is way harder to do it when you're in your 40s, man. Way harder to do music when you're in your 40s and you got a family and stuff. We got track number 4, Got What I Wanted. Kind of reminds me of a ringtone that I heard once with like that bwomp bwomp bwomp, but then of course we've got a whole lot more to it, because this is VxT we're talking about, man. He doesn't do half-assed, he's got the whole package. Sick. 3-chord progression. Still in that minor key. That's a catchy hook, eh? I enjoy this.
Together, that's all I believed in. Now and forever is what I imagined, but then it didn't go according to the plan that we made. Arguing where to go, how and where we wanna stay. Taking no contact if you like, we'd say.
This is a pretty heavy vocal modulation. There's like enough of it, and I'm like, okay, this feels like the comfortable limit of what we can kind of get away with before the effect becomes more important than the story, you know? He's writing that line really well, though. I like it. But like those low tune parts, you know what I mean? Really simple bass line with this boom, 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 boom. A melody on either side pan. Looping really well, we'll get all I want apart. Cool. It's nice not to have the vocals come in immediately at the start of the verse. It's nice to have the boom. I can't go that low in my voice, but that low 808. It just sounds like a, you know, like the kind of, and it kind of, you know, when someone sighs when they're frustrated by something or unhappy about something. Again, it's those little things that I'm hearing that are like, man, that's sick. That's clever.
So I called your best friend. She said you're in love with someone else. Is that true?
Oh, damn.
I cannot pretend like I never knew. But maybe I do. But when said I love you, I was honest. Said I'll make it, that's a promise.
Again, guys, if you're watching this, guys and girls actually, if you're watching this and want to produce music, da 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 da. I mean, I can't sing, but that melody, he's repeating that, and changing a little bit at the end each time, then coming back to it again, and then there's like a tail that's maybe modulated the melody or something like that. You can repeat melodies in a chorus. It makes it catchy. It's really it's smart stuff, you know? People like being able to follow along to it, as long as it's not too predictable, you know? Or like repeated too much, I suppose. It's helpful that you've got these really interesting things happening with the cymbals and the percussion and stuff. Oh, that was unexpected. See, that's what I mean. Shaping it up, changing it up. That's what we need to do. Keep it fresh. Sounds like a clock going backwards, doesn't it?
Just sold my last chance. I need to make it count.
This is some like high tier music production here right now. I haven't really heard much stuff like this. This is kind of dope.
Hearing the beat. This is a beat. Once in defeat. I am around. But sincerely.
We're adding more of the effect each time, aren't we? Are we automating the amount of reverb or delay in the mix?
Why did you leave? But you know I will rise up from the ground.
Rise up from the ground. So you're going to take that stepping down. He'll come back. Ain't going to let this destroy him. Love someone else. That love song. You take that rejection, or even not even a rejection, just the facts. You take the facts and you try and do something else with it, make things better. Way too long. That was a lot more gentle than Hey Dad, I think. I feel like got what I wanted was a little bit more understanding in Hey Dad. Hey Dad, there was just this tinge of frustration and like, just, you know, fuck man, I wish, you know. Oh, there's some fun sounds with the organ synths and the bass. It's like really kind of mysterious. It's like lounge jazzy, but it's also heavily filtered, and it's hard to follow what's going to happen there. It's kind of trippy, isn't it? Way too long.
I wish I knew then what I know now. That you were just a bitch that would break my heart. Maybe enough just to play my
it's we're spitting fire right now, my dudes and do that.
I'ma blame it all on you right from the fucking start. But I don't even know where it started. The first day I felt broken hearted. But you don't even know just what I did. Yes, I admit I made mistakes. But then I think it's not just what I did. Go ahead and blame me for all the shit. Still feel guilty for it somehow. Thought I'd be alright by now, but it's way too.
Just how slow the drums are with the bass. Like, you see me nodding my head. It's because my brain's like, yeah, I'm vibing with this. I'm getting it. There's this chord in no groove. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it pulses and writhes and kind of sinks into your head. It's an airworm, my dudes and dudettes. Because it's kind of strange sounding with these reverse synths and stuff. And it fits really well with what I wanted at the end there with that transition with like the clock ticking and stuff like that. We had that going from the 4th into the 5th. There's these groupings of songs that, you know, chronologically makes a lot of sense. Nice to have those perky little snowflake-like high piano parts. Yeah, I was tripping there for a moment. I was thinking about whether it was a piano, and then I heard that, and I was like, oh, there is some there. We've just got it heavily, There's some serious digital effects going on there. I dig that. Oh, that.
Since the last time that I called you. Since the last time that we talked to. Since the last time that I saw you. Since the last time I was there for you to fall through. But your thought still hasn't left from my mind. Wish I could just leave all of this behind. I was so blind in love, I could never doubt you. Said I don't even know what I'd do if I was without you. But now that I just let you go, realize that I am alone. Almost like I sold my soul to the devil. I know, no. But maybe this is better for you anyway. Hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I know that I
Oh, so we're talking about the got what I wanted part where we're talking about the woman like that the woman that never didn't love him back, and then like he's just accepting that like he couldn't get her back. There's no way.
It's way too long. It's been way too long. It's way too long.
How do you come up with this stuff? Like, it makes sense to me how the scales and melodies and all that kind of stuff work. The music composition is phenomenal, but how do you come up with the textures, the different synth sounds and stuff? How do you know to do it like this so well? It's just so inherently interesting. There are textures I don't hear a lot of music. Yeah, there's like a lot of the lo-fi stuff around nowadays, but it just feels more organic than that somehow, I don't know. Because again, we're like repeating this main sort of musical theme. There's one set sort of pattern that we've got going here with like the corporation bass line and some of the different instruments in here. That theme, that motif is repeated, but like somehow it remains fresh, even with the vocals. You know, like I suppose we're going between clean vocals and rapping, so there is some difference. But those little things there, like the da 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 da. His vocal chops are pretty slick as well. Oh, so was the clock at the end of the last song meant to sort of talk about it's way too long and how like it's taken way too long for him to focus on something better? That's something that's potentially more available. Yeah, that effort that's been put into something that never came to fruition. It's pretty brutal, eh? That's why he probably sounds so sad in that one. There's a real sense of loss in there, you know, that it could have been avoidable perhaps, but there's nothing you can do about it. We got Nobody Else. Track number 6. Okay, we're going with those extended harmonies. I think that's a 9th actually, if I'm not mistaken. That's an interesting chord. Nice and bright. It's luscious.
Since the last time you called me, I wish I had another shot, I would just say sorry. What is happening, I don't understand, it's beyond me. Tell me if you ever feel lost, I would just say call me up. I'll be right with you, emotions in the exhibition.
Yeah, and so we are really dealing with a heartbreak, aren't we? We're you know, way too long spent on that person, but then it's like, no, I don't want anybody else, you know? It's rough, that tumultuous period. It can really screw with you, you know? I'm sure he would have loved to be able to sort of like talk to his family about this kind of stuff, you know? Be able to have someone to listen to, but the stuff with his dad sounds really rough. Cool. Again, you got these filtered drums in here, keeping a lot of the low and mid resonances about the high stuff to really make his vocals stand out. That's part of the reasons why you do it. It's a really easy way to make the vocals sound a lot wider than everything else. And nice shiny vocals sound professional.
Let me tell you what I think of honestly. I've been overthinking about it lately.
He's giving me Drake vibes, honestly.
These days all I feel like I need nothing.
I know it's not cool to like compare musicians to others, but that's the vibe I'm getting from this track.
I can't
To be honest, I prefer this over some of the Drake stuff I've heard.
Wish I could die, burn me alive. No, I don't need your help, I'm better by myself.
Yeah, having these filtered basses kind of makes it sound like he's in the void, like he's lost in his own dreams or his own nightmare. Talking about kill me, burn me, and stuff like that. He's really suffering. It's absolutely vicious. The journey is not a fun one. You are reborn after you get out of it. But only after you get out of it, you know? And some people, honestly, some people don't get that. Damn, you don't need somebody else. Land down lower the land, man. Again, this heavy vocal modulator, you know, it illustrates a clear capacity and a sense of curiosity with music production. I like the amount of time we spent. I like and respect actually the amount of time we spent trying to get each instrument sounding exactly the way we needed to. Because it may not seem like there's been a lot of work in regards to the plugins, the effects, the automation, the filtering, and all that. But like, as someone who knows a thing or two about music production, I can clearly hear. We have a musician who is well kitted out in that department. Very confident, and that confidence is justified. It's very important for like context-wise. You can't just do this with everything you produce, but with certain situations you definitely can. And this is one of those situations where that kind of demented sort of depression of the vocals makes a lot of sense. Incredible song, really. Again, we have that. Each of these different musical themes or motifs within these tracks is catchy as hell, makes sense with the lyrics, the music, and the way the story is being told by VxT. Practically flawless at this point in time. I mean, I'm trying to be constructive with my criticism. I don't really have a lot of complaints with it. I think so far it's great. There may be if there is something that I don't like, I'll talk about it in a way that is constructive, because I think it's important to be able to be open about this kind of thing. So far, pretty solid. So we're over the halfway point now, though. Nobody else. It's like unsettling a little bit just how well VxT crafts an environment and atmosphere within his tracks that kind of illustrates the story just that well. It takes finesse, it takes experience, dude. You need to really tap into your emotions and your experiences and your stories to be able to tell that. You need to know how to articulate and have that sort of emotional, psychological maturity to be able to do so. Worth, track number 7.
I don't even know how I'm feeling. What am I saying? Do you miss me anymore? I ain't never been like this before.
This is a raw breakup, isn't it?
Make me feel alive. This makes me sick, I don't realize. Said I'll make it, but that's a lie. Does it count if I'm still trying to make it through? Cause even after all these years, I'm still new. Brown boy, I wanna rise up from the blue. Can't keep up, but I wanted to.
Oh, bud. Can't rise out. Brown boy can't rise out of the blue, man. He can't get out of that funk. He's trying. He's trying to find his self-worth, but it's difficult. The bass in here, it sounds like he's drowning in that misery, that struggle there. That's what the bass sounds like. It surrounds your headphones. It surrounds his life, you know? Oh, different drum groove? Cool. Let's keep that going. Nice balancing of the equalization in this track.
Is it all worth it? Hell, yeah, it is worth it. That's what I'm trying to tell myself. Just to prove a point. Rolling up a joint. Smoking and thinking about my motherfucking life. Holding back, keeping my shit together. Praying for things to get better. Trying to take a flight with no feathers.
Trying to take a flight with no feathers. Yeah, good metaphor. Good metaphor there, man. You need those feathers to be able to fly. You gotta wait for that to grow, man. You need time with that plucked. That's an interesting vocal harmony we have there. I'm not sure if that's a fourth or I think it might be a fourth harmony there. It's unusual. There is a sense of tension, but almost a fortification there at the same time. An uncertainty, but a fortified. There's a strength in there somewhere. It's an interesting interval there. Or maybe we're going to the extended territories? I might be mistaken. We have to understand how intricate harmonies work and the extended intervals and stuff like that to better get the hang of this kind of music anyways. We're clearly no amateurs. What a great start to the year, man. These sublines, these sublines to the main ones with it, is it worth it? Is it worth it? They're meaningful, they're important. That's like next level stuff, because you can have like a main vocal line, you can have vocal harmonies, but to have like lines underneath it, literally underneath it to support the uncertainty that's being portrayed by the main vocal lines or stanzas. That's some next level stuff, man. That's some thought. You have to structure. You have to think in 3D, man. You're playing 4D chess with this stuff. It's creative. It's not often I hear just an outro like this with the is it worth it stuff on this line. Often it'll just be instrumental, because a lot of rappers I hear are like, oh no, we've stopped doing the main story, so we just no more raps. No filler in this album, man. VxT, All I Wanted, off of the Reminiscent album. Sensational record. I love the fact that every single one of these has gotten over 1,000 plays. Kudos. So they should. So they should. It is a little bit more upbeat. More, dare I say it, haphazardly optimistic. Oh, the strings, the wobbly.
Give it away. It's all I ever wanted. Now that I give it away. Now that I give it away. It's all I ever wanted, my babe. Now that I give it up for the last time, I realize what a fine time I had when I had you, baby. Suddenly going so crazy. Never really knew what I needed till you're gone and now I'm bleeding. Out in the rain and I'm bleeding. Come back 'cause you're all I need. And maybe I'm not happy with my choices. Don't really know where the fuck my voice is.
Kind of wish I could just listen to this album instead of reviewing it, because I could happily listen to this whole thing from start till finish without like feeling the need to talk. But this is a review. Not gonna half-ass it.
What you think? I no longer got the motivation to keep going on in a mansion. Then I only realized what I had till I lost it. Forgot my purpose, flipping, I'm nervous until I caused it. Wish I had paused it. Now that I give it away, it's all I ever wanted. Now that I give it away.
That da-da-da-da-da. You got the synth leads in the background. They're doing a call and response, mirroring their vocal melody in there. Another form of that sort of that main line to kind of get stuck in your head. And the drums are nice and perky as well. The rhythm is kind of a little bit more upbeat than what we've had previously. We had an epiphany or something like that, you know? It's measured, but it's still a little bit more upbeat than what we've had previously. All that new bass, that future bassy kind of stuff. Is that a voc? It is a vocoder with some effects on it, isn't it? Sick, man. I like that. See, that was just a great way of changing things up. It was an unexpected inclusion in there. Keeps it sounding fresh. It makes sense with the rest of the elements in the mix. It's a new texture. It's the little things, man.
I don't know what else to find. I just don't want to waste my time. Can you help me understand what it means? Cause words can be misconstrued what it seems. So I hide behind this high like all the time now. Don't face reality to calm down, combine now. With all the feelings I have understated. Wish I had made it, but I'm high and inebriated. So I think about why we do drugs, especially when I'm high. Is it to die or feel alive? But I never really understood what any of it means. But you're right besides me, but it's only in my dreams. And
Interesting. I mean, I know that I mentioned finding that music was his first love. Is he talking about like music helping him in his dreams and stuff like that, and getting away from the chemical dependence that he might have had with drugs and stuff like that, like with the alcohol that I think we talked about earlier on to cope with the pain?
you moved on, yeah. And it's been way too long, yeah. But I just wanna go back, you know that. And it on the flashback on my soul back. Now that I give it away, it's all I ever wanted.
Find that freedom there. Kind of sounds like he's flying, right?
Now that I
Or walking to his destination, you know, on like a travelator or something like that. But like the neon lights, I'm seeing this as images, man. The music is giving me this mental imagery. That's when you know you got a banger. The banger is helping you to imagine things just by the sound of it alone. Back to those distorted, modulated chops. Bit of gain on there. Quite a lot of gain on there. VxT, dude. What a champ. I'm glad that he found music. I'm glad that he stuck with it. Like, honestly, I know we talked earlier about, again, though, wanting to study hip hop and rap instead of biotics. I really mean this genuinely, VxT. If you're watching this, yeah, I think you made the right choice. I think you made the right choice. There are rappers and musicians that put stuff out every day, and they're not always at this quality. They're trying their best, but it's not, you know, music isn't a meritocracy. Keep at it. Keep going. You've got what it takes, I think. Now, it's just the marketing side of things and making sure that you're getting your message out there and that people are vibing with it. But I'm sure you'll find today. There's a complexity to the lyrical subject matter here. Sort of a bit of internal conflict that I'm sort of enjoying listening to because it adds depth to the experience. 3, number 9. Oh, there's this increase in the tension, the filter effect with the automatic volume automation. Okay. That is a filthy setup. Whoa, 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 whoa. That is a filthy setup, but it works so well with the ominous nature of the strings and everything so far. It sits in its own range. Again, you got the percussion filtered to make the vocals stand out.
Like a socket, rocket, I ain't even gotta tell you I got it, but never really confessing me. First you gotta stop kissing me, and now you know. I don't wanna let you go, I don't wanna let you go away. Just wanna take things slow away. What she did was so amazing way. that I let you go, I see that it didn't make a difference. Now that I let you go, I realize that I know what's missing. Now that I let you go, I know it's not you, it's me. Now that I let you go, now I can't see it clear. Maybe I don't wanna lose myself out on the line here.
Sorry, man, I'm just vibing to it. Sometimes with these reviews, I find I'm just sitting there listening to it and I forget that I'm meant to be reviewing it. I've done a lot of these song reviews and album reviews over the last year or two, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's a bad habit. The mark of a great album is that you lose yourself in it and you're just sitting there vibing with it and nodding your head and stuff. That's when you know you got something special. There's nothing stabbing you in the eardrums saying, yo, I'm terrible, you know?
Know what I'm really trying to find here. I don't wanna justify it at the time in here. Make it worthwhile. I don't wanna waste your time to call you late at night. Tell you just why we might go. I said it's so amazing what you did. I really can't confess this on record, but there were so many times I said this to you that it might have been the highest point of my life without realizing can't define it. No, I can't define it. I just wanna take you back when we were lost in that moment while we were hopeful and afraid to be vulnerable and open. It's just so crazy how easily you were able to move past and forget all the promises. It's suspiciously too fast. I wanna see what.
Yeah, we're saying a lot here. There's a lot to take in. If we go back a little bit,
Realizing can't define it. No, I can't define it. I just wanna take you back when we were lost in that moment while we were hopeful and afraid to be vulnerable and open. It's just so crazy.
It's hypnotic. It's mesmerizing. You kind of fall under a trance listening to it.
We're able to move past and forget all the promises. It's suspiciously too fast. I wanna see what I can see. What am I gonna find? I don't wanna let you know what's going through my mind, cause it's crazy what's happening inside. It's dead, undefined. You'd never wanna confine corners of darkness in my life with all the secrets that I keep. Some love for self-hate. These graphics that you scarred now. Nothing can be said and done. I really can't compress it. I just wanna take it off my heart and also let you know that I'm a little better now. You're off. Oh.
This part here, there is a confidence, I think, at this point in the album that if the listener is enjoyed everything so far, this is going to keep him stacked. And I enjoy it. It was like so steady that I sort of zoned out a little bit listening to it. And I am listening to the story and everything like that. It's just when you've got such a chill bass line and you've got that main thing being repeated in a way that's predictable. You know, like I suppose maybe just it might just be me, but like my brain is just going, okay, I accept this now, and then you're just kind of lost in it. I'm not sure if that was a vibe that what VxT was going for. I know I just said it was a great thing, but also sometimes if there's invaluable pieces of information, you can just get lost in the music itself, and you can like get distracted from the story that's being told.
I wanna let you go. I wanna let you go.
Like those little bit of like those little bit here, you know, the wow wow wow. It might have been cool to have like and I'm sure that he was probably sort of cutting out the drums and everything out beforehand, but just like maybe halfway through the point, if he wasn't doing it already, just have everything cut out apart from that, and then come back in with that heavier hit. It's just, yeah, it's just such a steady, constant sort of energy from this. Especially because there's a lot going on in the lyrics, man. Talking about all the stuff he wanted to do to the person in the bedroom, you know, that attraction, that affection, everything like that. Never going to let them go. Maybe these are messages that he'd love to say to the person if they were there, or to music as they're there. This is stuff they'd like to have a conversation about. It almost sounded like they were in a room and they were discussing it, and the lights were dim and stuff like that, and had that mood lighting going on there. It was an interesting track, that one, for you. I enjoyed it. We're going to paint a picture. Okay, this is a little bit more punchy. I like this. A little bit less dreamlike. Oh, that bass is resonant and it oscillates on the sides. The headphones.
go, I won't let you through. Cause when I had a chance, no, I made a fool out of myself, no, it's not cool. It's been too long, feels like I'm talking too soon. Like when I ran away from the train tracks, you were still concerned about what I do when I get lonely. Lonely, yeah, cause you're my one and only. Like I'm...
Yeah, this, initially when I hear it when running away from the train tracks and stuff like that, there's some strong imagery, right? Trying to run away from danger, but being worried about that person will do when they're alone. You know, without that support system is interesting. Painting a picture of that.
Through the pages, through the moments. That one time I got aggressive, you was moaning. Even after all that you say you was all in. Shouldn't condone it, but now I'm on my own and things seem bleak and I'm filled with drive. Told me time, it'll make it alright. It's almost been a year now, baby. All this reminiscing making me go crazy.
Yeah, that ruminating, my dude.
It looks too great. Maybe just the memories I interpolate. I don't wanna say it was my mistake, but only if I could take back the time I take every second with you.
It's so soothing. I think that's part of it, because like the music is quite peaceful, and it's making me like want to take a nap, like in the best possible way. And what I mean by that is it's very calming music. Some of the stuff earlier, what we had with like Brown Boy Flow and Hate Out and stuff like that, there was a little bit more kind of aggression, frustration behind it. This Paint a Picture song is far more accepting. It sounds like we've found some resolution within the journey that we've gone to, like we're understanding it better. And that change in the pace of it is making me really relaxed. And because the music is so well produced and well written, there's nothing sticking out like a sore thumb. Like that, there is change, don't get me wrong, there's constant change. The song is inherently interesting. Some very subtle arpeggiated pads there.
To calm down now and be sensible, to think back what just happened, too high to make sense of it. Cause I see you with this new guy, he seems pretty good, I won't lie. Maybe I should miss you, I don't wanna let you know, I said I wanted you to be happy, and now that if it's without me, so I should accept it, I know. I don't know how to let go. I went out yesterday to the club, all I could think about was you. Went through all the gifts you made for my birthday when I was 22. Sometimes
yeah, that's at that age 22. That 22 was an important year, wasn't it?
Right there, it's true. Selfish of me, all these lines begin with I know you. Cause when I paint a picture, it looks too great. Maybe just the memories I interpolate.
I like the fact that the drums aren't constant to this one. We had a sort of a less common drum beat. Like if we go back there, go back a little bit. It was nice that that kick snare like that. You don't usually put a snare on the end of the fourth beat, but in this kind of music, but we're doing it in here, it's fun. Oh no, that would be in the one E end. Yeah, the one E end of the 16th note part of the second bar. My mistake. Yeah. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bored. I think this is a very important distinction I need to make before we finish. Some music is inherently just, again, as I said, soothing. It's relaxing. It makes me want to have a nap because I suppose, like, this is very different music to what I'm used to listening to. And especially if you've had, like, a busy day. And you're like, you haven't had your nap today because apparently I'm a 30-year-old going on 80. Haven't had my siesta. And I can like peacefully snooze after this. Just I feel at peace with the world around me, despite the frustration and the struggle. Like he's talking about needing to take an edible so that he's calmer. You know, like painting a picture of that. Talking about the new person that his former love interest was in, or as the person who the breakup was with, and it's stressful, difficult stuff to talk about. The music is just so relaxed and laid back. It's an interesting sort of combination. First Love, track number 11, the final one for today. There's a little bit more upbeat. Again, that filtering part there. All this chill little riser there going into this.
People say I should find somebody new, 'cause they think time with you is a waste. They don't understand you like I do. My first love, don't call her again.
That 808 hit like a freight train, dude. Again, the mixing in this album is phenomenal. There's never a point where I've been like, yo, why has that been affected like that? This is clearly someone who knows how to work the discs. Limited compression, panning, EQing, all different effects changes, sensational.
You saw me down when I was naked. This feelings I cannot fake it. Remember the sights and all of the days.
Going to those triplet grooves. I've noticed this for the bridge part. We go into the triplet parts, da-ba-da-da, and we go for the straight 4/4 in the part of the verses. It's a great way of sort of segmenting different stanzas like that, different sections.
There's millions of people loving you out here, but you know that none of them are the same. But then you went mainstream, me and you were in the same team. Thought you was waiting, but all of a sudden you're different now. I was impatient, ticking boxes off my wish list, but then you went missing and I couldn't hear your sound. Remember the day I saw you first, I was so mesmerized. You had me right under your spell, damn, I was hypnotized. Maybe I couldn't see them, but you got two different sides. Had to change myself, but I will improvise and hope you know that I still love you.
I mean, like, I have had my interest retained in this album the entire time. I gotta hand it to VxT, dude. Like, to listen to a first album, sometimes my interest will kind of wane as we go along. But I've had nothing but praises to say of this album for the most part. Cool little woodwind that's syncing along with the vocals of this bit. A lovely fresh reverb tail that. Can you hear the airiness to the end of his vocal line? We'll go back a little bit so you can hear that, because it's just sensational. Maybe wear headphones if you can't hear it. Like noise cancelling ones, you know?
They don't understand you like I do. My first love, don't call her again. Yeah, we talk and we fight after all said and done. You're still the one that I lean on. I know that we haven't been close in a while, but you've been there for me every season. The weather might change, but we still see the same no matter how it did you wrong. And I know that it's been too long, and I can't fix with this song. Do you remember the first time we made love? You was there, you played out your best part. All of the emotions I couldn't say right away, but you understood my heart. And we used to party together.
Yeah, I think that's the trick with this music. When you have instantiated this pattern of having the drums taken away or filtering in a chorus, and then you have the verse with full on with the drums and the bass and everything like that, it creates a pattern that, my brain's like, oh, this is what we did for this song and this song and this and this song. So it's like, it's still interesting and it still sounds great, but it's less unpredictable. And so I can kind of take it for granted.
When I was with you, I was on the top. You was with me when I was scared of the dark. I opened up, you dealt all of my cards, but all the things eventually fall apart. So you was happy when I was happy, and sad when I was sad. When everyone else had left me, you're the only thing I had. Did I belong to you or did you choose me? Couldn't keep up with you, are you still holding? I know the worst feeling isn't being lonely. It's been forgotten by some.
Being forgotten by someone you can never forget. That's brutal. That's the truth, though, dude. Yep. It sucks being forgotten by someone you can never forget. That's ruthless, dude. I'm glad VxT found music. He's a great storyteller as well as a musician and producer.
Love you, and for me, it's still the same. It don't matter what I gotta run through, 'cause you take my breath away. People say I should find
Catchy
somebody
melody.
new, 'cause they think
Again, repeating.
you is a waste.
Oh no, down there. You had the ABAC structure that was a tail on the end. My bad. Oh, you changed it up for the last chorus. Good job. Good job, VxT. I'll just shut up. I won't. I'm done. Okay, we got that heavy filtering again there. Got that low mid energy. He loves this kind of stuff. He loves his filters. It's a nice way to finish. This is the longest track on the record, but it justifies its length well. Yeah. So this is Reminiscent by VxT. We had the journey talking about his sort of like stop action, which was the relationship turning sour, brown boy flow. Because this is of course the conclusion. Just to get that out of the way, the conclusion. Hey Dad was just talking about the difficulties with his father and the expectations here. Brown boy flow, establishing identity, incorporating elements of like where he came from into the sort of hip hop and rap that he does. Like in his culture as well and everything like that. And we go way too long, nobody else worth. And that is just coming from that point of the heartbreak and the breakup to coming to terms with who you are and how you're going to cope with that person not being in your life anymore. I think that was when we started getting the transition back into that music stuff and finding a home within music and composition and finding value within that. And paint a picture in First Loves where we kind of divorce ourselves from the idea of that other person being really important and find peace within ourselves as musicians and like look at that person from far away and realize we don't really need that person anymore. Even if like it sucks that you've been forgotten by them, it's just coming to terms with that and accepting it, I think that's an inherently helpful and valuable thing to discuss within a track. The storytelling within this album was fantastic. I probably didn't get it right all the time, but I appreciate the fact that VxT was so open with it and was so clever with the way that he describes certain things in metaphors, but also just so kind and caring, and there was never a point where it seemed malicious. The delivery emotionally was very mature and it was meaningful and articulate and intelligent. And like the songs all fitted their identities incredibly well. You had that sort of core thing with hip hop and rap nowadays, especially as well as previous stuff, where you have that main musical theme, whether it's got synths and bass and drums, or the sort of the indie instruments that we had in Brown Boy Flow, like the sitar and all that kind of stuff. And again, I might be screwing that up. Excuse my ignorance there. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything like that. I wish I knew more about the instruments from that part of the world. But also you've got the traditional slow guitar and piano parts and the filtering and the effects processing and all that kind of stuff. This is next level production on this. But before we get into the recording, mixing, mastering elements, I think the overall orchestration of each of these individual tracks was sensational. They were unique and memorable. Some of the melodies were catchy, like First Love is still in my head, the melody of that. I can understand why he's getting attention for his music. I really hope VxT can continue to grow himself as a rapper and as a musician and as a professional career artist. And just because there's just so much promise there. There is so much promise there, and especially with what the recording, mixing, and mastering was absolutely damn near flawless. I think the only thing I mentioned was that at some points there was a sort of a sense of sameness to the instrumentation, whether it's because of the production being so precise that it seemed like there was a consistency that maybe needed to be sort of screwed with occasionally more than it already was. Because I know we were changing the levels of different instruments and stuff like that in parts. I know we were attempting to have adjustments to continue to keep people engaged. But in tracks like I think it was Free, for example, yeah, I think it was Free, where the half of it, we had so much interesting stuff being talked about in the verse. I feel as if even though I listened to that several times, I just started to zone out just because of how smooth and sultry the music was. It's a weird context. It's like, I don't even know how that's constructive. I suppose that's it if I'm being pedantic and picking at things. It's not even really a complaint. It's a mark of the work in terms of the harmonies and the textures and the layering of the instrumental parts. But also, yeah, I think I need to go have a moment to think about the different sort of themes and concepts identified within this album. But I've got a lot of love for what VxT was able to achieve with Reminiscent. I think this is an incredibly meaningful record for VxT. It was nice, loud, and professionally produced with, again, some of the best production I've heard throughout my time as a music reviewer in regards to different automations, filtering, panning work, etc. That's basically my review of Reminiscent by VxT. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Please do let VxT know if you enjoyed this album. If you did, please do go show him some love, actually, by his various social medias and his Spotify page. And stay cool and stay safe. And please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. Catch you in the next review. Spider hands up.